everybody. I did a little intro for this video that was me making one of my favorite things every single day. I am on a specific diet that gives me more protein and less calories so that I can gain muscle mass while losing fat. And it's helped me get this physique. And I'm really happy for it. Really thankful shout out to my trainer. You know who you are. And it's kind of symbolic for this episode. I'm going to talk about some of my deep, dark moments and the gratitude that I have for the awesome cooking equipment and for having this space. My space, the space that I live in, is really important to me. I'm going to read something I wrote in a mentorship group I'm in. Then I'm going to riff on it and explain to you. You can learn from my experience. I was homeless and scared for my life. I dropped out of college. My dad stopped supporting me since the support was contingent on me attending college. I stayed on friends' couches, but then that kindness ran out, and I had to live in my car. Then I totaled my car and had to get creative, sleep in libraries, etc. Then I went to Colombia because it's cheaper to live there. But I ran out of money and had to sleep on the street in Medellin a couple nights. Another homeless guy almost stole all my stuff, my laptop, my phone, everything. I slept in a bus terminal one night and on a park bench another night. People were mean to me and I was angry and frustrated at the world. I ate sugar packets from the Colombian equivalent of Starbucks. It's called Juan Valdez. Apparently they used to be in the US a long time ago, but now they're only in Colombia and maybe another country or two. I tried to make money online, making barely enough to avoid homelessness again, and I was so scared. Yeah, man, I do not want to go back there. There were some nights before I left, months before I left, where I slept in the Rutgers library. And at the time, I was still enrolled as a student, but I decided not to go to classes. And so my ID was still valid. And I just acted like I was studying, and I slept underneath the desk. And I remember I woke up in the morning to police boots right in front of me. And I was freaked out. I knew what was going on because I was just fucking tired, and somebody had tipped them off that I was sleeping underneath the desk. And they're like, yeah, are you a student here? I'm like, yeah, here's my ID. They checked it checked out, even though I wasn't going to classes. They're like, yeah, you should go home. I'm like, okay, sounds good. They're like, yeah, don't sleep in the library. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, just late night. That was scary. That was really scary. I don't know if they bought it, but I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't know how to make money. I didn't take responsibility for my own finances. Because for so long, my mom actually didn't. My dad had helped me out. And he'd been paying for my stuff. And I'd made the decision to go all in on my passions. For better or for worse, I went all in on my passions. And I sacrificed his financial support. Man, that was fucking scary. If I could go back to that person that made that decision, the version of me, and give him any advice, it would be, it's your responsibility to make money. Nobody's going to do it for you. And you have to make sure you have the means to live comfortably. If I were to do it again, I did a little video last time on it, and I said I might do the same thing. But after a little bit of thinking, I think I wouldn't have necessarily gone through with college, but I would have gotten some sort of part-time job. I would have gotten I was doing Uber, but I totaled my car. And so I would have gotten some kind of deal. And actually I did. Quickly after that, I got a part-time job at Walmart just to make the ends meet, which really sucked. Fucking hated that job so much. But it was better than being on the street. But I would have found a way. I would have told that guy before that moment. It's like, find a way to pay rent before you drop out of college. Because when you drop out of college, you're going to go on the street if you don't find a way to pay rent. I would have done that. I would have found a way to pay rent. I would have gotten a part-time job. Maybe not going to classes, maybe not told my dad. Gotten a part-time job for a month and then being like, hey, like I dropped out of college. Do what you will with that information. And that way I have enough to pay rent. But man, that was a scary time in my life. Scared for my life. Really nervous because when you don't have a place that's yours, you don't have anywhere to rest, to reset your mind, and you're always on fight or flight mode, and it takes a huge toll on you. Being in this place here in Austin, having my own space, and I have an Xbox right there, I have my guitars from my dad's house, I have camera lights, I have a good camera, a good lens, some good audio equipment, I have my computer right here, I have some really good cooking stuff in my kitchen, I have a nice king-size bed to sleep on, I have this couch, and man, you do not understand how fucking amazing it is to just have this right here. And when it comes to living a life you love, one of the things that I need to remind myself, and I do remind myself, and I think I'm pretty good at, is being grateful for the things you have and remembering the times where you didn't have everything you needed. I keep in mind the times in my life where I did not have what I wanted. I keep in mind over and over again the times where I was homeless, where I was scared for my fucking goddamn life, where I was on the streets of Medellin, Colombia, with a homeless guy about to swindle me out of everything and then trying to fight me, or in that library with the police boots on the ground, or sleeping in my car shivering my fucking ass off because even though I was bundled up, the thin metal of the car door was no match for winter New Jersey weather. It was tough, and it was hard, and I remember those moments because it makes me very, very grateful for everything I have now. I take everything I have now, and I'm like, if I gave the life that I have now to that person, to that version of me, I would fucking scream in joy. I would break down in tears. I'd be like, are you serious? What do I have to do for you? Like, do I have to suck your dick or something? Like, what do I have to do? Like, why are you being so generous to me? And I essentially gave that to myself. I gave all this to myself. It wasn't instant. It wasn't super quick. But that's one thing that really helps me in life. And with girls, for instance, I went on a date last night that was amazing. I talked about a girl a few videos ago, and that didn't work out. She started talking to her ex, but that's fine. And the thing is, I'm in a place where things like that, where I really like a girl and she stops seeing me, it doesn't faze me because I know I'm attractive enough to get dates and get girls that do like me. I had a date yesterday that was awesome. I have a date tomorrow. I have a date the day after. And the only reason I don't have a date tonight is because I'm seeing a friend. So this and I'm also seeing the girl from yesterday again, either on Saturday or Sunday. This abundance of dates makes me feel amazing and grateful. If I were to give this to the person in Latvia, because when I was in Latvia, at the end I dated this girl who I really fucking loved, but at the beginning I felt so lonely. I remember this one particular night, I was curled up in the hostel underneath the blanket, and I was crying. And I was in a bunk bed. I was trying to be quiet so nobody knew I was crying. But I was so sad because I was hitting on so many girls and I was talking to so many girls and I'd go on dates, but nothing worked out. I was getting used to the culture, and a lot of the girls, it seemed to be a more conservative culture, at least up front, where sex meant a relationship in that particular culture. And not for everybody, of course, but it was a different way of looking at dating in the experience. And the girls that I saw, there seemed to be a barrier between them being comfortable with anything casual. So I was so lonely because I was going on so many dates, but girls wouldn't have sex with me, and they didn't want to see me again. A lot of them didn't want to see me again. The dates weren't the issue. It was just turning them into something that made me feel happy, made me feel fulfilled for at least the first month, maybe month and a half that I was there. It was very difficult. And I remember I was curled up underneath a blanket in the hostel, and I was crying. I was crying because I felt so lonely, unappreciated, and unattractive. And I'd been traveling for a while and I'd made friends, but they're friends that I'd met a couple weeks beforehand since I was moving around so much. I was broke, almost homeless again because I was still getting myself out of that slump. And if I gave that guy the life that I have now, where I have dates upon dates and I can just flip a switch, buy a boost on Tinder and get a few more dates, if say all of them flake this week, not a big deal. I can just get more dates. I feel fine. I feel good. I have a support network of friends. I feel loved. I feel appreciated. I feel attractive. And so I like having this visualization. It makes me feel good almost any time of the day, and it keeps me grateful for what I have, as if I remember the worst moments of my life, and if I said, if I gave that person what I have now, what would I feel? Because you have to build upon what you have. You can't always, thinking of what you want can motivate you a lot. It's really important, but you also have to build upon what you have. If you have goals with girls, right? And you don't have any dates right now. Well, maybe there's a girl that smiled at you yesterday. Or maybe there's a girl that smiled, maybe no girl smiled at you yesterday, but maybe you live near a college campus where there are possible girls, right? It doesn't mean that you have them available to you right now, but that's something to build upon, right? If you're just this is what I want, I don't have it. This is what I want, I don't have it. This is what I want, I don't have it. You can get stuck in this super negative point of view where you're just looking at what you don't have. You're getting sad. You're getting mad. And when I was in that hostel crying myself to sleep, most nights, that's what I was doing. I had a bunch of dates. I could have been I had a ton of dates. I had a date yesterday. I had a date the day before, and I have a date tonight. I have a date tomorrow. And yeah, it's not turning into what I want, but there's so many dates. I could just, learn from each date and maybe calibrate to the culture where I'm at so that I can work with the girls around here, because they, maybe I can ask them some questions, figure out what's going on. Why aren't they wanting sex? Why are they wanting a relationship first? Maybe I'm portraying myself in a certain way. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Let me figure this out. But I have a bunch of dates, and that's awesome. I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking positively. I was focusing on the negative. I was I'm not getting what I want. 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 And it was just, I was just pushing myself into the ground. I was giving myself such a negative attitude. And if I showed that person, I'm you know what? A year before this, you would have had no dates. So be grateful for that. That's one of the huge things that I learned from these experiences, is when I have really bad experiences, a lot of it isn't necessarily because I have nothing to be grateful for. It's because I'm choosing not to focus on those things. I'm choosing to focus on the negative. You can't control what is happening to you at the moment. You can only control what you focus on and what it means to you, and then what you do about it, right? What you have in the moment has already been decided by your past actions and by the randomness of the world. Me being in a shitty situation, yes, maybe if I went back in time and changed my behavior and changed my decisions, I could not be in that situation, but I can't do that. That's already been done. And so what I have to do is I have to be you know what, there's things I can be grateful for here, and there's actions I can take. And that's all you have to you in the moment. So I really hope this helped you live a more passionate life and build a life that you love, and love the life that you build, because that's also part of it. And on the subject of dating, on helping you build a dating life you love, I take Tinder photography. I take dating app photography, and I am through Sunday, the December 5th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. If you pay and book a call by then, if you book a shoot and pay by then, you get half off. It's a Cyber Week deal, and I have a few people that signed up, so my calendar is getting booked up, but I want to help as many people as possible. So go ahead, and a link in the description below, and book a free dating profile consultation. That's how you get a shoot with me. I'll go over your profile. I'll tell you how I would improve it on our photo shoot, and then we will book a photo shoot if that's what you want. And also subscribe to me here on YouTube. I have been putting out a video a day. This, I believe, is video 388. And through the end of December is when I'll be doing this, and I'm really excited to do the rest of them. And next year I'll be doing 2 videos a week. So really excited to finish this. And without further ado, remember to be grateful. I'm also curious, please let me know in the comments below, what are some things right now that you can choose to be grateful about? regardless of where you're at in life, what are some things specifically, if your goal is dating or if your goal is wealth and you're not where you want to be, find something that you do have. Let me know in the comments what it is and be grateful for it and go build a life you love.